Hi everyone, I'm Rincey and this is Rincey Reads. Today I'm going to be doing my March Part 1 wrap-up. Before I get started, I just want to say thanks to everyone who left me really nice comments in my last video. A lot of people wishing me, I was going to say luck, but hoping that I would feel better and things like that. I am feeling better. I still have a little bit of a cough, but it's not as bad as it was last week. So yeah, that's good. We're here to talk about books, so let me tell you about the books I've read so far this month. The first book that I finished was The Sixth Extinction, An Unnatural History by Elizabeth Kolbert. This is a nonfiction book that looks at the different periods of extinction that have happened in Earth's history and kind of talking about how humans are gonna be the next species to go through an extinction, most likely. I like this book. I didn't love it. I think I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars, but I think that's mostly on me. I'm not a huge nature person, and a lot of this book just really reminded me of my freshman year biology class. Biology was my worst subject for sure. I never really connected with biology very much. I always have a really hard time with nature related science stories and things like that. I like some of it, but not a lot of it. And so the fact that I was able to read and finish this book already means that it's much better than most. So I feel like I can give this as a recommendation because this is typically something I wouldn't enjoy reading, and I read it and liked a lot of it, and so I feel like that means most people would probably love it. I will say sometimes I did want more human related stuff. She talks a lot about previous extinctions for obvious reasons. There's a lot of information about it, and it's much easier to talk about than what could theoretically be happening in the future. But when I got to the end, I was oh, I kind of wanted more of why we're headed towards another extinction, or why humans would have to deal with another extinction and things like that. But I think that this is a really interesting way to look at Earth and Earth's history and sort of look at our past. A lot of times when we look at things like history, we focus on the human parts of it, but obviously there's a whole lot more happening in our history than just people. So it's cool to look and see how animals have changed and evolved and adapted and gone extinct and things like that, and thinking about how that's impacting even things that are happening now. So yeah, this was really good. I think this was published in 2014 or so. So I feel I kind of want an update on this book to see sort of what's been happening over the last couple of years, but I don't know if that's really feasible as a book, maybe just an article in the New Yorker or something like that. But yeah, I liked it. I would recommend it if this sounds interesting to you. This also fulfilled the read harder task of read a book about nature. So yeah, that's another one checked off. Next, I finished There's Someone Inside Your House by Stephanie Perkins. This is a young adult suspense kind of horror-y type book. It's not really a horror book. It's based on teen slasher films like Scream or I Know What You Did Last Summer or something along those lines. So that's mostly the reason why I was attracted to it. Also, I've read Stephanie Perkins' other books and I always really enjoy them. So in this story, you are following this character named Makani Young. She has moved to Nebraska after living in Hawaii, and something happened in Hawaii that sort of forced her to move to Nebraska to live with her grandmother. So she's trying to sort of move on with her life, but she's still kind of haunted by her past. And then suddenly kids at her high school in Nebraska start being murdered. Ultimately, I found this book to be really compelling. I really enjoyed it. I was warned ahead of time, or I saw other people talking about this book because it came out last year, and they were talking about how it's very heavy in the romance, and so it's more romance than it is mystery suspense, which is very much true. So know that going into it, and since I knew that, I kind of knew what to expect, so I was okay with it. I've read Stephanie Perkins books before, so I kind of know what to expect with her romances, and I did mostly enjoy it. I did find the mystery aspect of it to be less compelling than the relationships part. There comes a point where it's revealed who the murderer is, and I felt the reasons given behind why he was doing all of these murders were slightly less than satisfactory. The ending feels rushed a little bit. It feels this book could have been a little bit longer to flesh things out a little bit more towards the end. So overall, I gave this a 3 out of 5 stars. It was good. It was compelling. It was a fast enough read. It wasn't amazing or anything like that, but I think that it's an interesting sort of twist on young adult books. You don't really see a lot of young adult horror, sort of teen slashers like this, so I kind of like it just for that aspect, but I can't fully recommend this book very heavily. Alright, next I read The Lost Girls of Camp Forevermore by Kim Fu. This one just came out in February. This is an advanced reader copy of it. So in this story, you are following this group of girls who attend Camp Forevermore, and they have this sort of fateful canoeing trip where they get lost, and it's about that trip and getting lost and how they survived and got through it. But it also looks at them sort of as adults and sort of their lives after that fateful day. So I like this book a lot. The writing in here is really great, like really beautiful writing. I would say that's mainly what got me through the book. I was expecting there to be sort of like a stronger tie between all of the stories. So basically the way this book is structured is you get sort of like a chapter while these girls are young at Camp Forevermore. Then you flash forward in time and you see sort of one of the girls' full life after Camp Forevermore. And then you get one more chapter from Camp Forevermore, and then you see another girl's full life from Camp Forevermore, like after that fateful trip. This book never felt like super cohesive to me. Like it felt more like short stories or vignettes, like connected short stories, than a full novel. So know that going into it, because that's one thing I did find a little bit disappointing. But once I sort of figured out that was the structure and there wasn't really going to be a lot of strong ties between all of the girls after Camp Forevermore, I enjoyed this book a lot more. But I think the characters in here are really interesting and the situations that they go through are really fantastic. Like to me, the whole like Camp Forevermore structure of it didn't really work, but just as individual stories of individual women, I found it to be really compelling. So in the end, I think I gave this one like a 3.5 out of 5 stars, because again, the writing in here is really, really beautiful, really well done. There are really interesting stories that are being told here, but it's not really like a cohesive novel. Like that through line doesn't really work very well in my opinion. So if you do want to pick up this book, and I don't think it's like a bad book or by any means, just know or just treat it more like a collection of short stories than anything else, I think. All right, and then the final things that I finished so far this month are volumes 2 and 3 of Goldie Vance. If you watched my Friday Reads last week, you would have seen me mention volume 2. I ended up going to the library to pick up volume 3 as well because I realized they had it. So yeah, I don't have a whole lot to say about the series other than I absolutely adore it. If you read volume 1 and you haven't picked up 2 and 3 yet, pick them up because they're just as good in my opinion. If you haven't read Goldie Vance yet, this is an all ages comic put out by Boom. You are following this character named Goldie Vance. It takes place in Florida in like the 1960s, and Goldie Vance works at this hotel, but she's also sort of like this amateur sleuth type of person. There's a lot of comparisons to like Nancy Drew and Veronica Mars, so if you like those types of mysteries, then I think you would like this one as well. She has like a great cast of like friends and people around her. Like I find everyone to be completely enjoyable and so much fun. I'm also, I think, realizing that I really enjoy all ages comics a lot. I don't know what it is about them. Maybe it's just like the wholesomeness is really enjoyable to me. But yeah, I just adore these comics so, so much. The art is all in like full color and everything as well. And just like really fun, beautiful stuff. It's really great to have like people of all different types of races and backgrounds and things like that in these comics. It's just really, really a treat. So yeah, if you haven't picked up Goldie Vance yet, I highly recommend it. It's really nice because like every volume is about like 4 or 5 issues, and they're all like self-contained mysteries. So each like arc that they do is like its own mystery. So there aren't really like cliffhangers or anything like that. So you can read volume 1 and it's a full mystery, and then volume 2 it's its own full mystery, and volume 3 is its own full mystery. At the end of volume 3 there's like a little bit of a teaser for like future things, but I imagine that it'll be like something that just continues on in future storylines. It's not really like a cliffhanger, but it's sort of like a, ooh, everything's not quite as wrapped up as neatly as you would think. Also, Goldie Vance works for the Read Harder Challenge of Read a Book that's not Marvel or DC, so I use these for the hood. So another challenge completed. The other book that I am currently in the middle of is Super Mutant Magic Academy by Jillian Tamaki, which I also talked about in that Friday Reads video. I'm really enjoying this one as well. It's a little bit thicker. I'm about halfway through it, and I'm taking my time with it. I will talk about this more in my like second half wrap up, but I'm really, really enjoying this so far. I've been reading like a couple of pages every night before I go to bed, and it's sort of like a great way to go to bed. I also just recently started The Astonishing Color of After by Emily X. R. Pan. This one comes out on Tuesday, I believe, and it's one of my most anticipated reads, and I'm enjoying it so much so far. But again, I will talk about this more in my second wrap up because I'm sure I will have plenty to say on it. And then if you were wondering, I DNF'd Before We Visit the Goddess. I don't think it's going to be a permanent DNF, but I just know that because I was sick and because I was just been like really tired and things like that, and that book is multiple perspectives, which I can't handle it right now. So I just put it down because my brain was not connecting with the book the way that I know it's supposed to. So I just put it down. Maybe I'll get back to it in the future, but we'll see. So yeah, that's everything that I have for you guys. Feel free to leave a comment down below letting me know if you've read any of these books or if you have any questions about anything that I've talked about here. So yeah, that's all I have for now. Thanks for watching.